Hey everybody. Okay, so let's get started on tonight's homework. It's divide decimals and we're going to be reviewing over the base 10 blocks. So the problem that we have is 1 and 44 hundredths divided by 6. Remember that our flat is going to represent the 1 whole. The rod is equal to 1/10. And then you have the small unit or that will represent, or cube that will represent 1/100th. Yikes. Okay. All right, so now I have 1 and 44 hundredths divided by 6. So I'm going to kind of pull this out. I have 1, and then I'm going to pull out my 44, or my 4/10. Bring that out here. 3, and kind of drag that out. 4, and my 4/10, and then I have 4 hundredths. So I'm going to drag out my 100, pick out a 200, pick out a 300. Yikes. Let's do it one more time. Pick out a 300 and pick out my 400s. All right. Okay, we got that. Make that a little bit easier. Then I'm going to make 4 groups. So I'm going to insert in, actually let me bring in my shapes. Yeah, I'll do some circles, right? I can do circles. So I have 1 circle, because I'm going to have 6 circles. And I know we've done it over here. I guess you know what I could do. Never mind. I'm going to put it in my group. Just now thought about that. What happened? Where did it go? Control Z. There we go. It disappeared on me when I hit that delete. I wanted to get rid of that one. Let me cut that part. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to just drag it into my groups. All right, so using our base 10 blocks, I have my 1 whole, and I have 6 groups. Can I take this 1 whole and share it in the 6 groups? No, it won't work, so I'm going to have to break this up. And so when I break up my 1 whole, how many tenths with a TH will I get out of that? Absolutely right, 10 tenths. So I'm going to pull out 10 tenths. That's 2, and there's 3, and there's 4, and 5. I wish I was faster about this, guys. So sorry about this. 5, 6. I'm going to put it right underneath here. 7. 7. This is 8. 9, 10. So I have 10 tenths. All right, perfect. And I already have 1, 2, 4 tenths. So how many total tenths do I have? Absolutely, I'm going to have 14 tenths that are total. So I'm going to make a box here, and I'm going to type in 14. Ooh, that's tiny, tiny, tiny. I want to enlarge it. I'm going to have 14 tenths. There you go. So now I can take my 14 tenths and start putting them in each group. So let me start here. I'm going to move 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. And let's see how many I can put in there. 3. And I can keep going. 4. And I can keep going. 5. And 6. I still have some more tenths left that I can put into my group. So there's another one. 7. That's 8. 9 tenths. 10 tenths. I'm going to have some left over. You're right. 2 tenths are left over. 11. 12. Very good. So there's 12 tenths that I've used. So let me come back into my square, or my rectangle is what it is to be official. So now I have 12 tenths that are remaining. How many did I have left? Very good. I'm going to kind of just draw this line. Oops, now I'll do the other. I hit the wrong cursor. And I'm going to stretch this out here. Okay, and so if I take the difference, and what is the operation for the difference? Absolutely, it's subtraction. Very good. So then it's 2 tenths that I have left over, and I can see that in my model that it's 2 tenths left over. So I can break those apart. Yep, absolutely. I'm going to have a total of 20 because out of my first rod, I have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Did I get 5? Yeah. It was kind of a delay, right? So there's 500s. I'm going to pull out another group of 5, 600s, 700s, 800s, 900s, 1000s. Okay, so that takes care of one rod that I'm going to put to the side, put it right over here, and I will draw a line through here. Show that this is what we were done with, that we've used it. And now I'm going to draw out and pull out 10 more. That's 1, 2. I'm sure you guys are so much better at pulling, dragging, click and drag. So this is what I'm doing. You're clicking, finding one, and click and drag. It's 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 hundredths, and 5 more hundredths makes 10 hundredths. Okay, so now I have 5, 10, 15, 20. And so this is my other 10. So I'm done here. And I'm going to kind of extend my line out. So I am done with my 2 tenths, and I've converted those into 20 hundredths, but I also had 4 hundredths left. So I have 24 hundredths. So then I'm going to type that out onto the side so that I know that, let me enlarge this because we need to be able to see our print. So I have 24 hundredths. Okay. And I have the 6 groups. How many are going to go into my 6 groups? Now, I already heard people say, oh my gosh, I know. Absolutely. Do you already figure that one out? So I have 1. Come on, click and drag. 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I going to have anything left over? Nope. 6, 7, 8. Click and drag. Come on. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oops. Click and drag. 13, 14. I'm kind of cracking myself up here. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. What did I do wrong, guys? Oh, I see what I did. I missed one. I see what I did. There was 20. I ended up doubling it up. So 21. I'm going to even them out. So look at what I'm doing. So some of them have the 3, 22. It's 23. And I actually doubled up on these 2 right here. So if I can find my little squiggly, just to show you right here is where I doubled up. And that's where I created that mistake there. And so I'm filling in the other one so that they would be even. So that's what I wanted to show you. And I have my 24. And I'm going to fill this one. And now do I have it balanced? Absolutely. So coming back over here, I used 24 of the hundredths. Do I have anything left over? Not at all. So I'm going to subtract that out, and I have 0 hundredths. Stretch this out so that you can see it. This flat, I'm going to move this out over here because we also use that one. And then just kind of draw my line. Okay, very good. So now the answer to this one is what? 1/10, 2/10, and then I have, so I'm going to click right here on my, going to backspace, get rid of my question mark, and I have my decimal, my zero, my decimal point. There's 2/10 and 400ths, and how do I say that number? You have to identify the number first, and then the place value that it lands in, so it's 2400ths. Excellent. So let's move over now to the questions, because now it's the process. So can you share one with 6 groups? And the answer here is no. And I'm going to enlarge this here. Okay, I want to enlarge. No, I want to enlarge this one. This is the one I want to enlarge. Why do you keep going back to that one? I want this one. It keeps popping back to that. I have no idea. I hope you can see that one, because this one here is going to be the answer is no. I thought I'd try it one more time and thinking maybe it was just me as a fluke. Oh, it's not me. It's just the program. All right, so can you share one with the 6 groups? The answer is no. Now we're just going to be discussing what we did. So I'm going to get in here and take that question mark out and put no. So can we exchange 1 for, so we can exchange 1 for how many tenths? So in our problem, we exchanged it for 10 tenths, right? And then now we have how many tenths in all, right? We had 14 tenths in all. And you share that many tenths with 6 groups. Yeah, I can share that. I'll have some left over, but I can share it. So the answer is yes. Use the base 10 box to show that you can share the tenths. And so we did. And there are, how many tenths were left over? Do you remember? Absolutely. There were 2 tenths that were left over. And can we exchange them for? We're going to exchange them for 20. We ended up getting 20 hundredths out of that. And now, how many hundredths did we end up having? We had 24 hundredths. Did it get to? Oh, no, the question mark didn't get erased. 24 hundredths. I can't see. All right, sorry about that. That print is tiny. I can't see that. 24 hundredths in all. And can you share that many hundredths with 6 groups? Did we share it? Yes, we can. The answer is yes. And then, are there any hundredths remaining? The answer is no. Oops, don't want to. Whenever if you erase that, if you hit the back button for that one, or Control Z is another one, you can do that. So the answer is no. All right, there you go. Anytime you need to pause the video, please do so, and then continue on at your own pace. In your head, solve these problems. All right, we went over this briefly in class today. That if we're thinking about it, if I have 48, if I move this out once, so I'm going to take my little pin over here. If I make this into a whole number, I move this out one time, 48 divided by 6, I know that that's 8. And I'm going to move it back in one time. I was waiting for this. Put my decimal here, and my answer is 8 tenths. Going to move this out twice. 63 divided by 7 equals, that's very good, it's 9. But I need to move in my decimal twice. Once. Got to put in a 0. So that's tenths, hundredths, because I moved it twice. And now my answer is 9 hundredths. All right, this one here, I've got to move it out how many times? Let me change the color on here. Let's go to red dynamite. 1, 2, move that out. Now it kind of looks like 8 divided by 4. The answer is 2. I need to put in 2 back in, and I can drag over. I just wanted to make sure that you were able to see it's 1, so that's tenths, and then hundreds. So it's like that. So what I'm going to do is go ahead, and for the remainder part, this is what I will do, is I'm going to go ahead and drag. If I take my 3 out, let me go ahead and just move my decimal out so I can see that. What would that be? That's 3, but we know that the 3/10 is like what? So I'm going to put this out here. I know 3/10 is the same as 30 hundredths. I can move this out. So now it's going to look like that I have 30 divided by 6. And so that makes it what? Oops. Did y'all see what I just did? Crazy. My brain is going a jillion miles an hour. All right. So I'm going to put the 5. Here's the 5 right here. Sorry. So I have the 5. That happens. The brain goes a lot faster, and then the hand finally catches that. So now I know that 30 divided by 5 equals 6. So I'm going to have my 6 here. I know that the equivalent to 3/10 equals 30. We're thinking about this, the quickness, right? So I'm going to, this is the tenths, and then the hundredths. And the answer is 6 hundredths. Very good. And then you move out my 7, 1 space to the right, 1 place to the right. So it's 27 divided by 3. That equals 9. And I'm going to move my decimal back in 1 place value. And the answer is 9/10. Next one, let's go to green. 54. I'm going to move this out 1. 54 divided by 9 equals 6. Very good. So if I moved my decimal 1 place to the right, I need to put that back in, and I'm going to move it 1 place to the left. And so my answer is 6/10. The next one, I have to think about it. This is like 16 divided by 2 equals 8, but I moved it twice, so it's tenths, hundredths, and my answer equals 8 hundredths. 6 divided by 3 equals 2. Excellent. How many places am I going to move it to the left? 1. So my answer is 2/10. Very good. If you're needing to, you're going to be just dragging it, but if you needed to write this in your journal so that you will remember about moving that decimal for the mental math, do so, because these are reinforcements for the long term. We're not doing this for short term. We are doing this for long-term learning. Okay, excellent. Way to go, guys. Now it's time for some division. Let's go to my division part. 4 and 5/10 divided by 3. Okay, so now I'm going to just drag and put. I'm going to picture 3 groups in my head. I have 4. And now how many am I going to put in each group? Absolutely. I'm going to put 1 in each group. I'm going to put my imaginary multiplication sign. 1 times 3 equals, very good, it equals 3. I'm going to drag. Now I'm going to take, I have 1 left over because 4 minus 3 equals 1. I am going to draw my arrow down. You probably have to use your squiggler or your scribbler, which is here. You'll find that right here. Your scribbler. Draw that there, and then you can just draw your arrow if you want to. Just so that you remember, it brings it down. Okay, so the next one, I'm going to bring down my 5. Oops, I got to stop my scribbler. Okay, now I'm going to drag my 5 over. It's still not supposed to do that. Okay, now I can do it. Drag my 5 here. And 3 goes into 15. 5 times. Very good. And 5 times 3 equals 15. And with a remainder of 0. Okay, the next one. 2 goes into 9. So I have 9 and 6/10 divided by 2. How many groups? Oh, very good. 4. Because I know 4 is going to go into each of those in those 2 groups, because 4 times 2 equals 8. Excellent. And so I'm going to bring my 8 over, and I'm going to have 1 left over because 9 minus 8 equals 1. And then I'm going to bring down my 6. So I'm going to kind of draw my little arrow down or do a mental note to bring that down. And I have my 6 right here. And how many groups of 2 can get into 16? Or 2 times what will equal 16? Absolutely, it's 8. And I did forget to do something over here again. We're going to get right back to that. 8 times 2 equals 16. I'm going to bring my 1 and bring up my 6. And I subtract that out, and it is 0. What did I forget to do on my first problem? Absolutely right, my decimal. So I'm going to bring my decimal up there, and then I'm going to bring this one. Remember, it goes straight up. Wherever this one is, it's straight up into my quotient. All right, now the final one. Oh, this looks familiar, doesn't it? Okay, 7 cannot go into 3. I cannot take my 3 wholes and put those into the 7 groups. So it becomes a 0. But 35 can be evenly fair shared in the 7 groups. So 5 will be in there. So 5 times 7 equals 35. I'm going to bring that here. And I subtract it out. That's 0. And now I'm going to bring up my decimal. And there you go. And that's your final answer. All right. Now the last one that you have, we have 6 problems. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to kind of work these problems out on the side. You'll need to work these in your journal and then show me tomorrow. James spent $7.40 on 4 packs of blue pens. So how much did each pack of pens cost? All right, so now I have 4. Now we're talking about money, so it was in my dividend. I'm going to put it in my divisor. I'm in my quotient. It doesn't look like a dollar sign. My decimal is here. It's $7.40. I have 7. One of those are 1 in each group, because 1 times 4 equals 4. And I can subtract that out. And that gives me 3. I'm going to bring up my decimal here and bring down my 4. Now I have 34. Okay, so I'm going to have to think about it. I have 4 groups. So 4 times 5 equals 20. 4 times 6 equals 24. I think that's as far as there we go. 4 times 7 equals 28. Can I get closer? Another group of 4. 4 times 8. Oops, there we go. 32. That's exactly. So I can have 8 in each group. That gives me 32. That's as close as I can get. I subtract that out. Leaves me with 2. Bring down my 0. 4 goes into 25 times. So each pen cost $1.85. So I'm going to go ahead and drag and place that there. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and erase this here. La, da, 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 da. Next problem. Rita has 10 centimeters of ribbon. Oh, I wonder what she's going to be making. 10 centimeters of ribbon. Then she cuts the ribbon into 8 equal pieces. Oh, okay. So what is the length in centimeters of each of the piece? All right. So I know that. How much does she have? Very good. She has 10 centimeters. And she needs 8 pieces. So 8 cannot go into 1. I'm going to put my 0 here. But 8, I can have 1 go into each group. So 1 times 8 equals 8. Subtract that out. This is 2. Bring up my decimal because I know that my decimal is going to separate my ones and my tenths. Bring my decimal here. Add a 0. So 8 can go into 20 how many times? 2. That's 16. That was my tenths. So I'm going to have 4 left over. I'm going to add another 0 because this is my 4 tenths that I can break into hundredths. Excellent. Very good. This was that 0 here for my tenths. Now I'm going to have 40 hundredths. So I'm going to have 5 in each group, 5 hundredths in each group, because 40 times 5 equals 40 hundredths, leaving me with 0 left over. So each size is going to be 1 and 25 hundredths centimeters. Isn't that super cool? All right. Again, I am going a little bit fast, so you can pause me anytime. I will be okay with it so that you can write and keep up and understand. That's the beauty about the video, so you can just do that. Let's look at the third one. Mr. Green purchased 6 adult movie tickets for $57.30. So how much does one ticket cost? Well, I wonder what he went to go see. Well, you know what? If you go to the movies, I don't know what I haven't been to the movies since COVID, so I have no idea what the tickets cost now. So I have $57.30 because they're pretty pricey. And he bought 6 tickets. Oh, the movie tickets. Yep, there we go. He went to the movies. So let's see if that time bought 6 of them. Okay, 6 cannot go into 5, but it can go into 57. So I'm going to start with 6 times 5 because I know that that's 30. Six times 6 is 36. 6 times 7, 42. 6 times 8 is 48. Can I keep going? Yep, I'm going to move myself. 6 times 9, 54. Oh, we may have something right there. Is that the most I can go? I think so. I don't think I can put another group in. Let's see. 6 times 10. Oh, that's 60, so it's too big. So I'm going to have 9 that can go into each group. And I know that that's already 54 because I worked out my problem. And that makes it 3. I wish I was doing this on paper because, oh, did you see what I just did? Bad habits, bad habit. I don't ever do, this is the first time I've ever done that. Because I'm so focused, this is like really hesitant. I'm going to change colors. Maybe it's the color. So I'm going to bring down my 3. Now I have 33 tenths. Well, I'm looking over here at my reference. Well, it looks like it's going to be 5 can go into each group of 6. So I'm going to bring up my decimal here. And this is at 5. This is 30. I subtract it out. I have 3 left over. Bring down my 0. And I have my 5. Can you already see what the answer was? And this is 30. And I have 0 left over. So it's $9.55. So they must have a discount if it was at the movie or some time ago. Or it could be the matinees. Because I know that maybe that's about right. $10? Oh, I have not. I know that they're really pricey. Especially if you go to the draft house. I've been to the draft house. It's really nice. I like it. That's like a treat. And then my girls and I, we would have our coupons that we would use. Because for 3 tickets, they were pricey. was shocked when I had to pay for 3 tickets. He was 6, so that's not so bad. Okay, let's look at number 4. Mr. Duncan pours 84 liters of punch into 3 serving bowls. So 1 serving bowl, and the 3rd serving bowl. Now, if she poured an equal amount in each one, how many liters of punch were in each bowl? Okay, are you getting it now? So I have 8 and 4/10. Divide that by, and this means divided by, and I have 3 bowls. 3 times 2 equals 6. 3 times 3 equals 9. Too big. So 2 can go into each group, using 6 of the 8, leaving me with how much? Absolutely, 2. Bring down my 4/10, and I'm right here, so I'm going to do this in blue. Bring up my decimal. 3 can go into 24. I almost said the answer. 3 can go into 24 8 times, so 8/10 will be in each group. And that's 24. And subtract out, and I'm good to go. All right, so my answer is 2 and 8/10. Now we have 2 more problems to go. Yippee! All right, so getting easier, because the whole goal is to practice and make it easier and more fun to do, because you're understanding the process. It's not about finding the answer. It's understanding the process. How did you get to this that made you determine what the calculations were, that the answer was? All right, Janet paid $2.91 for 3 apples. Okay, so if Janet paid the same amount for each apple, how much did she pay for the apples? Well, let's check it out. So I have $2.91. Oh no, the internet is kind of stuttering right now. Three cannot go into the 2. I have 2 holes trying to share with 3 groups. That's not going to work. Okay, I'm going to change my color here and bring up my decimal. Okay, so 29. Ooh, okay, so let's look at this here. I'm going to have 3 times, let me do the 7, because I know that's 21, and I'm trying to get as close to the 29 without going. 3 times 8, that's 24. I have to add 3 more. Can I do 3 times 9? And if I'm adding 3 more, how much would that be? Ooh, 27. Yeah, very good. Because 3 times 10 is 30, so 3 is the most that it can go. So subtract that out. How many do I have left over? Very good. You're going to have 2/10 left over. I can cash those in for 20 hundredths. Bring down my 100ths. I have 21 hundredths. Look at that right here, guys. It's going to be 7. So my answer. Oh, did you see what I just did? I put the 3 up here. I finally caught it. It was a good thing I was looking. So I have 9. Let me put it here. There we go, because 9 times 3 equals 27. Now my 21, 7 times 3 equals 21. My eye is burning here. So it's starting to water, and I'm trying to catch it before it does. Okay, and that's 0. So the answer is 97 hundredths. Now, don't go be that little cheater, pumpkin eater who turns around and says, okay, so the final answer is 1 and 83 hundredths. Solve the problem. Know how to do the process, because it's not about getting the answer right. It's about thank you very much, the process. You have to understand the process. Even if you're using like calculators or stuff, if you don't understand what you're putting in the calculator, then how do you know what you're solving for? You won't. See, the internet is stuttering right now. All right, so at the store, the deli clerk divides 16 and 47 hundredths pounds of sliced turkey into 9 equal parts, equal packages. So how many pounds of turkey does each packet contain? This eye is starting to water badly, so bear with me, guys. All right, so I have 16 and 47 hundredths. Divide that by, and it was 9 equal parts. Okay, so I have 9 groups. If I take my 16, how many will go in each group? Very good. It'll be 1. 9, I have 1, 10. It can't go into the 9. So but I have 16 ones, and it can, 1 time. I'm going to multiply, my imaginary multiplication sign. 1 times 9 equals 9. And I'm going to subtract that out. And so what is that? Very good. That's 7. Bring down my 4. And I have 74. 9 goes into 74 how many times? Oh, very good. 9 times 8. And if you're looking over here, you're like, oh, it's 8. So I'm going to bring up my decimal. It'll be 8 times because 9 times 8 equals 72. Come on. And I'm gonna bring this over because I'm running out of space. So I have 2 left over, and I'm bringing down my 7, and it's going to come over here. Okay, 9 goes into 27 3 times because 9 times 3 equals 27. Subtract that out, and it's 0. So my answer is 1 and 83 hundredths pounds. All right, that was your work for tonight. You guys have a great evening. Remember, study your multiplication quiz or your multiply decimals quiz from last week, 2 weeks ago. Go back over it, study, know what you did right, know what you did wrong, because you're going to see, there's a strong possibility you're going to see a lot of those questions tomorrow as a review, and then looking at models. So don't forget to review that. All right, you guys have a great evening. Peace out, and thanks for such a great day. All right, bye.